Here's a couple reasons. One, like what you were just saying, like everybody can sing, and if you can't, there's something going on. Like I've heard that tone deafness is actually a myth, and that it's actually just fear. Mm-hmm. Which I don't believe, because I think, of course, there's so many different kinds of people with so many different kinds of mental issues that are small and big. So yeah, there's probably some people who can't distinguish pitch enough to know the difference between two notes. For sure. Whatever. There's got to be that out there. But it's probably pretty rare. Yeah. But that your vocal apparatus is one of the things that like is probably it's so reactive to emotion. Like, you know, try having
if you're choked up,
basic normal conversation if you're really crying, or like it responds to emotion, because that's how we relate.
Right. And fear is such a powerful emotion.
Yeah.
It's going to just closes your throat up.
Yeah. We've all, like when you're a little kid and you like wake up from a bad dream and try to scream for your mom and only air comes out.
Ooh.
Does that ever happen to you?
No, I don't have bad dreams.
Mom! I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
I think it's just you.
But yeah, and that's the problem with, here's total sidebar, but pop singing gets a bad rap in the world of like professional, maybe opera singing or Broadway, or when you hear somebody who's trained as an opera or Broadway singer, they tend to be weird pop singer.
Yeah.
But pop singers tend to have a lot of vocal issues, and I think it's because pop singing is more closely related to speech, and we put on a pedestal emotional expression over anything else. Whereas in these other disciplines, it's about having a strong voice that can survive, or that can project without a mic, or diction's really important, being understood. And so the training builds you up into this thing that's like, you're a very powerful voice, and other things are very important, let's say.
Or come first.
Yeah, or just higher up on the hierarchy, I guess, of importance. But a pop singer, it's like, you think about a great rock singer, and it's like if you're singing an intensely emotional song that's angry and you embody that in your voice, chances are that's not something you can sustain night after night after night after night. And that's why pop singers are prone to nodules and vocal issues, is because, I mean, if you're gonna get into those kinds of emotions and really express them, they're not healthy for your voice.
Yeah.
But it's healthy for your art in a sense that it's honest. Right. So anyways, that's I've struggled with that, because I think there are things that and there are voices that people, millions and millions of people love, and it's a flawed technique.
Yeah.
You'll hear lots of, like Adele, I remember when she's considered to be a great singer, but she got nodes, and from going to vocal lessons, and I've been scoped at the doctor for.
Oh, really?
You know, I was afraid I had nodes at one point or whatever. I kind of learned some of the things that you can hear in a voice that sounds great, but is actually really unhealthy singing. And one of the things is there's a vocal instructor named Ron Anderson. His vocal lessons are astronomical amount of money per hour, and he's, you know, taught a bunch of amazing singers. And one of the worst things you can do is like sing on your vocal cords.
Is that when you can kind of feel
feel that the vibration is happening on the chords? And what you really want, which is, this comes from classical, is to resonate in your head. Like you want to push the tone forward. They call it like in the mask. Yeah. But when you're singing on your chords, I think early Adele, Gavin DeGrasse, another one that comes to mind. These are their tone is really rooted in this thing's like it's like down on there. And so I remember going, man, we're rabbit trailing, but I remember going to Ron Anderson and showing him the recording of my song Invisible Enemies during the Fallborn years. And he's listening to the verse, and this is his first time hearing me, and I'm sitting there with him next to the piano.
Awkwardly watching.
Yeah. And he's like on the board of the Metropolitan Opera, but he's like giving lessons to Chris Cornell and Adam Levine and all these people. And actually after my lesson, Anthony Kiedis walked in. He was like the next lesson. and he's hearing the verse, and it's like kind of in a lower register. He's like, oh, very nice. It's a very nice instrument.
He said that?
He said that. I was like, oh, this is going really well. So cool. And then right when the chorus kicked in, he went, no.
Turn it off. I can't hear it.
He's like, invisible in a maze.
Yeah, I know what you're talking. I know the sound you're talking about from that song.
And when I hit
sounds like it's like distorting your chords or something.
Yeah. And it's like a sound that I liked.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Every time I sang that song live, by the last chorus,
done,
which has visible in a maze, future full of fear.
Oh, you're going high.
I remember like I would never last. Like I was always done. My voice was like, oh my gosh, this is not going to hold up. And I never really knew why. And he goes, you're singing right on your chords. He's like, you have a few years left of vocal life. You can sing it like that. Yeah, you went dark on me, man.
How much do you like this song? Is it worth being your last song you sing?
Dude. And it was a bummer too, because that immediately, put me, talk about the like, your values wrapped up in what you do.
Right.
It's like, shoot, man, how do I get rid of that? So then we start going through vocal exercises, and it was an interesting experience because what we were doing didn't make sense to me, and I felt like he kind of went into just, here's what I do with everybody mode, and I felt like it wasn't customized to me, so I felt a little bit like in the situation, I was just like, I was kind of caught up in like, oh shoot, what's going on, and this doesn't feel right. Which of course, I think it was a little bit of this tear between like, well, maybe you're asking me to do something that's going to turn me into something I'm not.
Right, yeah.
Mixed with, can I even do it? And whatever. So, I don't know.
And the second going back to what we were talking about earlier, like the second you get up in your head when you're singing, it's done. Like you start thinking about it, and then your thought produces an emotion, whether it's fear or
Eek. Yeah.
Get a little shy about it, and then instantly your voice is the next thing that's affected.
Shoot. That's an interesting topic too.
That's the only. Well, I guess every instrument you could be held back if you're overthinking it or whatever. But especially your voice, because you can't even control it.
But dude, so this is a good question for each other. I didn't even answer the original question.
What was the question?
It doesn't matter.
Confidence. Same thing. If you have 100% confidence when you're singing, you're going to be. It doesn't mean you're going to be a perfect singer, but it means you're going to be way better off. Then the second you start doubting, I only know that because I'm a big self-doubter in myself. So I had to, especially like touring a lot, I had to just learn how to just turn it off and just at least fake it. Like, I am great. I'm going to sound great. At least it gets rid of the thing that pulls you back, any sort of like negative emotion or any self-doubt or whatever. The second you start doubting your voice, it's going to choke up. How many times have you seen that with singers that come in and you're producing and they may not be comfortable right away, and you gotta you're just trying to get them comfortable so that they can sing. Yeah. Because if you're not comfortable, you're not going to be able to sing.
Yeah, it's one of the most delicate things.
I've even noticed my voice, my throat actually drying up when I get too nervous.
Oh yeah, I've gotten that a couple
many times. And you're like, wait a minute. And then you're just drinking water and nothing helps.
Right.
Because the water, you did it to yourself.
Water's a weird myth because it doesn't even, unless it's actually just like dripping down, when you swallow water, it doesn't even get close to your vocal cords.
Right. But I guess I've always heard that if it
did, it'd be going down your lungs.
You're supposed to drink while you're singing, I think. You need an IV.
That's called gargling.
It sounds a little worse. Chris Karn told me one time, he's like, the
mucus goes down. So if you're dehydrated and you hydrate, you make more mucus, and that,
I guess,
lubricates your cords. But you have a little flap in there that covers your vocal cords when you swallow water.
Oh, right. Okay. I didn't know
Unless you gargle, because then the water is bouncing off your vocal cords.
So gargling's good.
I guess gargling's good.
But I think the main thing is you want to be hydrated. Chris Karn told me one time, he's like, singers that walk around drinking big jugs of water, which I've played with a lot of singers that do that. Really? It's like a total sports mentality thing. It's always the guys that played sports in high school, and the night of the show they have the biggest jug of water you can find at Costco, and they're just gulp, gulp. And Chris told me one time, he's like, that doesn't help, because if you're not hydrated
before,
12 hours before or whatever, your body takes time to be hydrated. You can't just instantly hydrate yourself.
That's true. And it could work against you because if you're trying to use your diaphragm and you filled up your stomach
And
with
your
water,
stomach's full, yeah. And you're going to burp into the microphone. And I've done that too.
the worst, dude, is drinking a Red Bull before you go on stage. I've done that a bunch. Then you have a Red Bull burps into the mic. It's not pleasant.
How about chewing gum? Have you ever tried the chewing gum while you're singing thing?
Oh, the Dave Grohl?
Yeah, just while
Never.
you're singing. I did it one time at the Gypsy Lounge back in the day. I was like, I'm going to try this because it makes sense. You're chewing, so it produces more saliva, so you're less dried up. I guess that's the concept.
Yeah.
And right away, I went to take a big breath to hit a note, and I was like, "Oop!" Swallowed it. Like on the first song, I was like, "I'm not doing that again."
Yeah, that's danger. There's just made me think of this. There's a former UFC fighter, and he would always have a toothpick in his mouth throughout the entire fight.
What? Why?
Like literally,
Wouldn't you be
the fight would be done. Benson Henderson is his name. You Google it. The fight would be done, and immediately there'd be a toothpick sticking out of his mouth, and ever'd be like,
How did that come?
"What's going on there?" And he's like, "I train with it in."
So the whole fight, he
Never
has it
had
in
a
his
problem.
mouth.
Yeah, he hides it somewhere, and then all of a sudden there's a toothpick.
Weird, but that's probably for him. Just
Fighting.
gets him in the, I don't know, some sort of headspace.
Maybe.
Or it calms him down or something.
Dude, I don't know what it is, but a
Weird.
sharp object in your mouth
While
while
someone's
someone's
punching.
in the mouth.
Or getting choked. Maybe he wants to use it as a weapon. So if you're getting choked out, you can just spit it at their eye. Just
Oh yeah, a little secret
what I would do.
toothpick.
Boing.
It's like a ninja move.
That's what I would do.
The double-starred edge Chinese star. Okay.
This is a vocal podcast. This is a singing podcast.
Yeah,
for
it really
singers.
became one.
I like it.
To take it back to where it started, though, I always felt like maybe for myself that because of my disabilities,
You have disabilities?
no, my inabilities, I just felt like the thing I had, like, it was like I need to. First of all, my songs. I need to have better song. I need to have great songs, and I need to be utterly emotional. And because it's not going to be because I'm a great singer, it's going to be because I'm as honest and emotional as I can possibly be. And
Which
it
is
helped
way
me,
better than
it helped me
being a great
raise the
singer.
bar. I don't know. And then I also really, I think this is a weird thing. This is an interesting topic too, is like, for some reason, what I felt like I had to say through singing involved me having a high range. And maybe it's like I loved a lot of singers that had really high ranges, like, you know, Sting and Jeff Buckley and Chris Cornell and I mean, you can hear me talking now. Like, I think my voice, I'm probably like a really, really low tenor or even a baritone, maybe, if you were to like rank my voice on the operatic spectrum.
Yeah, your
which I
voice
know
sounds
nothing
great
about.
up high. What?
I had to push, dude. I didn't have any of that when I started.
Really?
I had to just like, I don't know what I did.
Just push it up so you keep getting higher and higher.
Ball peen hammer on the crotch area. I had to just, it's like, I'm singing those notes. And then I read something once that said, you're only physically limited
Lower range.
in the lower range.
Yeah, I read that too.
Yeah, so
I
you
read
can.
that same book.
Yeah, you did.
I don't know where.
It talked about vocal adduction, which is basically.
Yeah, that's what the vocal teacher I went to was all about.
It might have been that's
That's
who
when
I
you
read.
squeeze your-
Thomas.
Yeah, Appel.
It might have been him that I read.
That guy, I took the lessons from him.
He's hilarious.
He's so weird.
Hi, Thomas.
Great though, like he had a whole program.
Yeah, because you're basically what his thing was is that people who sing high, either they have small vocal cords and that's high, if they're like their speaking voice is high, whatever. But what you do, like your vocal cords are like shaped like this or whatever, approximation. But it's almost like fretting your vocal cords. So you
Right.
you close the end of them and make the vibrating length shorter, like on a string on a guitar.
Yeah.
And if you learn how to do that with your vocal cords, it becomes effortless to sing high. Whereas a lot of people, when they push to sing high, they stretch their vocal cords, which is the same as like tightening the string.
Yeah, so you're
and
straining.
You're straining, yeah. So once I heard about that, I was like, okay, well then, what does that feel like? And you know, when am I doing that and not doing it? And then I just like pushed and pushed and pushed until I had the upper register that I wanted. But it meant that I went through lots of straining and bullcrap.
What do you think about specifically guys speaking?
What do I think
VoIP?
about dudes?
What do you think about dudes specifically? What do you think about guys where they put their speaking voice? Because like it's not You know what I mean? You don't just like push a button and your voice comes out. You have to put a pitch to your voice when you're speaking.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about where you put your voice when you're talking?
Well, I've
because they say if you the more monotone you speak, like in terms of like notes,
vocal dysphonia.
It's bad. Like I've even noticed it before playing a show. I try to kind of be more animated with my voice because then it's almost better for your singing voice. Does that make any sense?
It does, and I've heard. Well, I don't even remember what I heard, so this is red alert. But Italians, there we go. Speak with the hands. Well, they're. Is it the Romantic languages? But for sure, Italians in Italy, I have very melodic voices. It's like part of the culture to sing or to talk in a very melodic way and use a wide range. And the same place that I heard this, it was like Americans are more known for
picking a low note.
Yeah. And even it's a weird cultural thing. There's a I forget what the problem's called, but executives often get it, and I think sometimes women in corporate situations have been known to get it, but they speak at the lowest possible point of their vocal cord, and they get nodules. Like,
right. It makes you sound more.
I really
important.
think that's a good idea. To make that deal, and we can.
Yeah, and you hear that person, you're like, that's not where your voice is supposed to go.
Right.
Like, that's not natural.
And they go home and they're like, but mom. Now I've thought about that, hearing myself back. You know what? Sometimes I'll notice when I'm trying to be polite or something. I'll be like, I think I'm speaking like really like high and trying to sound. It'll always be in hindsight though. Like, have I been talking like really high for some reason? I don't know. What about you, sir?
That's something I've thought about. I've had to change, and it's weird. It should be the other way around, but I feel like I learned how. Well, I guess it makes sense. I feel like I learned how to speak properly through learning how to sing.
Oh yeah,
because it's the same thing with like the mask that you're supposed to put your voice here. Once I started doing that with my speaking voice, I was fine because I would always lose jack my singing voice up if I talk too much.
Oh, interesting.
And it was because I was trying to be like, I have a low voice. Whoa. And at one point I was like, it's probably not good.
Dude, that is weird.